I've been thinking a lot when I'm doing the meditation on love about um, what what happiness is and what the causes of happiness is. Right? Actually, I think of it as a happiness meditation. I'm not thinking about me being happy, though I do meditation for myself sometimes, but I'm thinking about other people being happy. So when I think about people that are very poor or homeless, refugees, people that need medical help, or people that are in need in certain ways, in a material way. I can think of, wanting them to have a house, wanting them to have money, so they can meet their needs, wanting them to have medical care, or if they need psychological care and support, to have that. Um, when I think about very rich people, I think about all the people that already have all these things. It's a little different for me. I think about people that already have wealth. They have all the things they think are going to make them happy. I think about what are the causes of happiness. And I think about what our society tells us is the causes of happiness, not just what, because we have different things come from the Dharma that tell us better. But most people are taught that wealth will bring you happiness. Or at least, I mean, I grew up very poor, living in the projects. People don't buy lottery tickets for nothing. They think it's going to make them happy. Um, and to a certain extent, you get enough money and you're not living in the projects anymore. You're in a safer place. You're not worrying about whether you're going to feed the kids or have rent. Um, it helps. And but there's a lot of people that have a huge amount of money. Some of them may have general got good opportunities and worked hard and come up from being poor and have wealth. Some people were born into it. And some people have enough wealth that it's way beyond what they will ever really need to meet their needs. And they don't have enough. They'll never have enough. And they have all this wealth and they're not happy. So we have to question this one. Does wealth bring happiness? And it's the same with like power. You know, if someone's in a situation where other people have adverse power over them, sure, we want them to be free of that and have the power over themselves. We don't accept slavery and such in this day and age. But people that to want to rise up in power, like, oh, if I were the head of the department in my company, or um, head of this institution, or if I was, a political, if I got voted in this office or something. Next 4 years later, I'm going to want to be voted into the next office. We see lots of people in positions of power that don't really seem to be happy, at least from my point of view. And so we see that it's not necessarily going to lead to happiness. And fame and recognition, sometimes that's what comes with power and money, but sometimes, oh, somebody might work their whole life to express things in their art, and they get some recognition all of a sudden, over the moon for a little while. This is the dukkha of change. This is not going to be stable happiness. And so, and there's status. All these things are so intertied. And our society teaches us too that if you have a active, good sex life, you'll be happy. This is the best thing in the world. Does anybody say that? Not really very often. Not in those words, but all the time. All the time in the advertisements, the TV shows. I mean, I grew up watching Three's Company. That's what that's about. They're sexual jokes. um, it's in all through movies. It's what people are being taught. There are 8.3 million people on the planet right now. A billion, sorry, 8.3 billion people. And that number's rising. I looked at a daily thing where they have the numbers that you can watch them change in time. You can watch India past China. India is the biggest population in the world. And India's going up, and you can watch China falling. India's going up like, China's like, their numbers are going down. But worldwide, the number's going up. Why? Because billions of people are having sex. We live in a world of 8.3 million people. Billion, sorry. There's probably 1 million people having sex right now. Are we living in a world full of happy people? We're not living in a world full of happy people. And people are very disappointed sometimes. They're like, this is supposed to bring me happiness. And something's either wrong with you or me. So I'll get a new you and try again. So I try that a few times. That didn't work. Maybe I'll go to this pervert's island and that'll bring me happiness, you know? That's what we see, the scandal with some of the richest, most successful people in the world. And they're still trying to be happiness through things they regret now. Hopefully, regret. And these are all the things that we might consider materialistic that the world teaches us will bring us happiness. But we're also taught that that's shallow, and what's really deep is love. All you need is love. You know, the Beatles sang it, and everybody else sang it too. Then somebody else is about to start singing it right now with a new song. And that's when John Lennon and told Paul McCartney why he didn't want to be part of the Beatles anymore. He said, some people just want to fill the world with silly love songs. And Paul McCartney made a song called Some People Want to Fill the World with Silly Love Songs. What's wrong with that? He got that from John Lennon telling him why he left the Beatles. Because he was trying to find something deeper. And what's deeper? We're talking about those pop songs a lot of times are about this romantic love. You know, if I have the perfect partner that cares about me and I'm special. But then there's this whole thing that just being loved. If other people care about me, if they care about me, that seems like, you know, if my family cares about me, my neighbors, my friends, my people I work with, my fellow citizens, if they care about me, they want me to be happy and free of suffering, just like they want themselves to be happy and free of suffering, then I'll be happy. And that sounds almost like it's there, but we got to turn it around 180, because I'm not going to be happy based on what someone else is doing with their mind. My mind has to have love in it for myself and for others. If I don't have that and everybody else loves me, I'm not even going to understand what that is. I'm not going to know what that is. And if I don't love myself, I'm not going to really believe their opinion of me. I'm going to be, oh yeah, I'm happy, and then something's still wrong. And so when we turn that around, that's exchanging self and others right there. We're taking our concern and we want to care about others as much as we care about ourselves. We all have this basic motivation. I want to be happy and be free of suffering. And to turn that around and say, I want others to be happy and free of suffering just like myself. And that's one of the causes for happiness. It leads to a lot of the other causes for happiness. Virtuous states are the cause for happy results. That's one of the virtuous states. It leads to other virtuous states. It leads to virtuous actions. It restrains us from involvement in non-virtuous actions. It restrains us from wanting to be involved in harming others if we care about them and we don't want them to suffer. So that's really my big point here, is that the cause for happiness is loving others. It's not receiving love, it's giving love. And when we do these meditations, I do the meditation for myself. I do it for people that are easy for me to do it for, people I care about, um, people I don't even know that I see their suffering. But I also do a lot of time where I'm meditating about wanting people that I have problems with to be happy. And a lot of them are people I don't know, who I don't like their political policies, I don't like their social influence or stuff. And so I have a negative view of them. And so a lot of the work I'm doing is trying to work with that. And I look and I say, hey, these people were taught this is what makes you happy and will bring you, get you freedom from suffering. And they're successful in everything that they were taught, except that that doesn't lead to the success they wanted. It doesn't work. And so I try to have compassion and love for them in that. And I sometimes do a little fantasizing and saying like, oh, I'm going to take Putin for an example. If you're listening, don't be offended, Putin. Not trying to pick on you. But what if what if imagine if Putin were to say, this isn't working. This war on Ukraine is not going to work. It's not a good idea. I regret this. And I want to start putting the energies of my country into really helping people in Russia. There's a lot of poor people in Russia. Why don't I turn around and start being a hero to them in a real way, helping the poorest of the poor? And that will stimulate the economy for everybody because they're so poor, they're going to spend that money. They're going to spend it and it's going to go up. Money doesn't trickle down so much as people think. Money floats like styrofoam in water. Otherwise, it would all, if it floated downhill, it would all be in Compton. We'd all be trying to go there, not trying to get out of Compton. Yeah. And so, can you imagine if world leaders would just look at some of the things they've been doing that are not bringing the happiness and saying, oh, this isn't working. Maybe I could turn this 180 and really start trying to do what will benefit others, and maybe that will make me happy. And so when I'm thinking about these people, I'm really trying to think about them being happy. I try to imagine Putin spending a dinner time with his daughters. I don't know if he has grandkids or not, trying to reconnect with his family, trying to care about others and really, and I think about that with a lot of different people, and I also try to see what's going on with them, because we all have compassion, we all have kindness, and we all probably recognize that sometimes that's just bubbling up, and sometimes something is an obstacle to that. Somebody says the wrong thing, and my afflictions come up, and my compassion goes down. And so when we think about wanting someone to have love, we have to be working on pushing love up, and we have to also be working on addressing all the obstacles. But I just wanted to share this about what I've been doing with my meditations on love, is trying to really wish people to have the ultimate kind of happiness,